Do you ever feel totally ready to speak English, but then you open your mouth and nothing comes out?
Ah, Mia, that is the universal feeling, isn't it?
It really is. It's like the words are stuck behind a wall of perfect grammar rules.
That wall is the enemy of fluency.
Exactly. We hear from so many learners at the A2 and B1 level, maybe even B2, who say they know the rules, but they can't use them fast enough.
That is the core frustration. They have the knowledge, but not the speed.
So, let's talk about speed today.
Let's focus on moving past perfectionism.
We need a simple, zero-pressure way to practice speaking every single day.
And we have a great technique for that.
Welcome to the English Blend.
And I'm Leo.
I'm Mia.
Today's episode is all about a simple, powerful method we call 1 photo equals 1 minute speaking.
It sounds easy, right? It sounds almost too easy.
But trust us, sometimes the simplest methods are the most effective ones.
This episode is going to unlock that speaking muscle.
We want you to stop translating in your head.
We want you to start communicating now.
Exactly. So grab your coffee and let's get started.
But before we dive into the method, we have to address the biggest mental hurdle.
The battle between fluency and accuracy.
Absolutely crucial. Everyone mixes these up.
Can you give us the simple definition, Mia?
Of course. Think of accuracy like driving a car perfectly. Every signal, every turn, every speed limit is followed perfectly.
That sounds exhausting, but technically correct.
It is exhausting. That's accuracy. It means perfect grammar, perfect vocabulary choices, perfect pronunciation.
And what about fluency?
Fluency is communication. It is driving the car from point A to point B. You might take a wrong turn, maybe you didn't signal perfectly, but you arrive. The message is delivered.
So the goal for our listeners right now is getting to point B, regardless of minor bumps in the road.
Precisely. Fluency is about moving forward without hesitation. It's about being able to get your point across.
That's a great phrase. If you can get your point across, it means the listener understood your main idea, even if the sentence structure was a little messy.
That's right. If you can order your coffee, if you can explain a problem at work, you are fluent enough in that context.
We often see learners who are B2 in grammar tests, but A2 in speaking fluency.
Because they prioritize 100% accuracy, and that leads to silence.
Silence is the opposite of communication,
It is, and the reason for that silence, Leo, is often grammar.
Grammar is supposed to be helpful. Why does it block fluency?
It creates what we call the internal editor.
The internal editor is that little voice inside your head.
That voice screams, "Wait, is this the past perfect continuous tense? Did you use the right preposition?"
And by the time you've answered the internal editor, the moment for conversation has completely passed.
The person you were speaking to has probably walked away, right?
Or they finished your sentence for you, which is even more embarrassing.
That's why we need to temporarily fire the internal editor when we practice fluency.
We need to give ourselves permission to make mistakes.
Think of it like a sports drill. When you practice soccer, you don't worry about falling down. You worry about hitting the ball.
The ball, in our case, is the message.
Exactly. The message delivery is key.
This is especially true in fast, casual conversation, like in a cafe or a social setting.
People are listening for content, not corrections.
They are listening to what you say, not how perfectly you conjugate the verb to be.
Let's elaborate on this idea of the internal editor for a little while because it is so pervasive.
It controls so many people.
It does. When you are speaking, your brain is trying to handle 3 major tasks simultaneously.
1. Forming the meaning you want to convey.
2. Recalling the appropriate vocabulary.
3. Applying the correct grammatical rules in real time.
If you focus too much on number 3, especially the complex parts, your brain just hits a wall.
Oh, hitting a wall is a perfect phrase here. When you hit a wall, it means you suddenly stop progressing because of a difficulty or obstacle.
And the obstacle is the pressure to be perfect.
If you allow yourself to skip that perfection step, Suddenly, the other two tasks, meaning and vocabulary, can flow much more easily.
It's counterintuitive, but making mistakes actually makes you faster.
Because you are practicing the movement of speech, not the static rules of grammar.
That brings us perfectly to our main technique for today. 1 photo equals 1 minute speaking.
This is a practical tip for daily practice.
It's designed to force you out of that translation habit and into direct English thought.
How does it work? It's incredibly simple.
Step 1. Find a random photo. This can be on your phone, a website, or a postcard.
It should be something simple, maybe a photo of someone cooking or a street scene.
Step 2. Set a timer for 60 seconds, just 1 minute.
60 seconds seems manageable, even for beginners.
It is. Step 3. Talk about the photo continuously for the full 60 seconds without stopping, using only English.
No breaks, no pauses for grammar checks.
The goal is sustained output. Keep the stream of sound going.
What if I don't know the word for something in the photo?
Then you describe it. That's the beauty of it. If you don't know spatula, you say, the thing you use to flip the pancakes.
That is real communication, right? You were using circumlocution.
You are finding a way around the vocabulary gap. That's what fluent speakers do naturally.
This exercise forces you to use the English you already know rather than trying to access the English you don't know.
Think about practicing with a photo of a cafe.
I see a woman, she is drinking coffee.
She has a blue sweater. Maybe she's waiting for a friend.
The table is wooden. There's a lot of light coming through the window.
See, we just spoke for 4 lines without worrying about verb tenses, right? We just described what we saw.
If you stop and think, should I say she's drinking or she drinks, the minute is over.
Exactly. The focus is on the continuous flow of speech.
This is a perfect example of focusing on communication over accuracy.
We need to talk about one short story that illustrates this concept clearly.
A cultural note or a personal anecdote?
A short cultural anecdote about communication in a real-world setting.
Go for it.
I was traveling in Italy, and I needed to ask for directions to a specific train station.
Your Italian is okay, I remember.
It's good, but not perfect. I started my question, and I realized I used the wrong genre for the word street.
Uh-oh, the internal editor woke up.
It did. I paused for maybe 3 or 4 seconds thinking, should I correct myself? Will they understand?
The dreaded hesitation?
The person I was talking to, this older gentleman, looked confused, not because of the gender error, but because of the silence.
Ah, the silence confused him more than the error itself.
Yes, I quickly repeated the question, ignoring the mistake, and just pointed and used the name of the station.
And did you get the directions?
I did. He answered right away. My 2-second pause to fix a minor grammatical mistake was the only thing that actually blocked the communication.
That proves the point perfectly. Hesitation signals a problem, even if the words are mostly correct.
Communication breakdown is often about stopping the flow, not about the content of the flow.
So the 1 photo equals 1 minute speaking practice is a training tool to eliminate that hesitation.
It trains speed and automaticity.
Let's add a few more practical steps that complement this photo exercise.
Practical tip 2. Focus on language chunks. Tip 2.
What do we mean by chunks?
Chunks are groups of words that naturally go together. They are fixed phrases, not individual words.
Like, how are you? Or I'm looking forward to it.
Precisely. Instead of learning how to build "I'm looking forward to it" word by word, you learn the whole package.
You learn it as one unit, like one big vocabulary word.
This bypasses the grammar center. You don't need to ask, is looking forward followed by to and then the gerund?
Do you just know the sound? Do you know the chunk?
When you look at the photo, try to describe things using chunks you already know. Don't try to invent new sentences from scratch.
If you see someone relaxing, you use the chunk, he seems to be enjoying himself.
If you see the weather, use the chunk, it looks like it might rain later.
Chunks increase speed because you don't build sentences, you just assemble pre-made pieces.
Practical tip 3. Implement the 3-second rule.
This sounds like a rule about dropping food on the floor.
A little bit, but this is about stopping hesitation.
Tell us more about the language version of the 3-second rule.
When you are speaking and you pause for 3 seconds or longer, you have officially hit a wall.
3 seconds is a long time in conversation.
It is. The rule is, if you don't know the exact word within 3 seconds, you must say the closest thing you can think of and keep moving.
Use a placeholder word, describe it, or change the sentence entirely.
The key is to avoid silence. Silence gives the internal editor too much power.
So if I am talking about the woman in the photo and I can't remember sunglasses,
3 seconds pass. You say, she is wearing those dark glasses over her eyes, and move on quickly.
you prioritize continuity over vocabulary perfection.
Exactly. If you manage to get your point across language focus, even with descriptive language, you win.
That's a great habit to build. It keeps the energy of the conversation high.
And it teaches your brain that it's not the end of the world, language focus, if you make a small error.
That's a wonderful idiom. When we say something is not the end of the world, we mean it's not a serious problem and we shouldn't worry too much about it.
We need to remind our listeners that grammar mistakes are not the end of the world.
You might forget a plural S. Not the end of the world.
You might use has instead of have.
Not the end of the world.
What happens when learners get so scared of the mistake that they stop speaking for months? That is a major problem.
Yes, perfectionism is a speaking blocker.
So let's revisit the core method. 1 photo equals 1 minute speaking.
We need to emphasize how often they should do this.
This is a daily practice tool. It only takes 1 minute.
That's practical tip 4. Schedule it daily.
You can do this while waiting for the bus, while the water boils, or during your coffee break.
Pull up a photo on Instagram, or maybe a photo from your own memories.
If you use your own photo, the vocabulary might come easier because the context is personal.
True. If I look at a photo from my last birthday, I instantly remember the vocabulary for cake and candles and presents.
And because you feel more connected to the content, you naturally speak faster.
Let's run a quick example using an imaginary photo.
Okay, I'm looking at a photo of a man trying to fix a bicycle tire on the side of a busy street. Timer starts.
Okay. I see a man. He is wearing a red jacket. He seems frustrated.
He has a bicycle. It is upside down. I think the tire has a problem.
He is probably trying to fix the flat tire. The street is busy. Many cars are driving past him.
The sky looks cloudy. Maybe it's going to rain soon.
He is holding a tool, maybe a wrench, to unscrew the wheel.
He looks like he needs help, but he is alone. This is an everyday situation.
See how we just focused on description and maintain the flow? We didn't stop to ask, is it driving past or passing by?
We used simple sentences and short lines.
That's exactly the style we want our listeners to adopt when they practice this. Short, clear sentences.
It forces you to simplify your thoughts, which is key for rapid communication.
When you practice fluency, you are practicing the muscle that connects the thought to the sound.
It's physical training, just like lifting weights. You need consistent reps.
Let's discuss the importance of repeating this process over time.
If you do this 5 times a week, after a month, you will notice a massive difference.
You will find that those words and chunks you practiced using start coming out automatically in real conversations.
Your brain stops translating and starts just reacting in English.
That's the real measure of fluency, that automatic reaction.
Now, let's review our key language points one more time.
We focus on 3 very useful phrases today that can help you reduce stress and manage communication better.
First, get your point across.
Meaning, successfully communicate the main idea regardless of minor errors.
Example, I didn't use perfect grammar, but I managed to get my point across to the waitress.
Second, hit a wall.
Meaning, stop progressing because of a difficulty or obstacle, often used when you can't think of a word or grammar rule.
I was speaking quickly, but then I hit a wall when I couldn't remember the word for negotiation.
And finally, our stress-reducing idiom, not the end of the world.
Meaning, it's not a major catastrophe, it's a small problem, and you should move on.
Example,
I forgot the past tense, but hey, it's not the end of the world. I'll try again next time.
Using these phrases helps you talk about your learning process in English, which is also a valuable skill.
It shows self-awareness.
So, let's quickly recap everything we discussed for our listeners.
We established that fluency is communication and accuracy is perfection. For now, prioritize fluency.
We identified the internal editor, that fear of grammar mistakes, as the main blocker. Fire the editor!
Our main practice technique is 1 photo equals 1 minute speaking. Find a photo, set a 60-second timer, and speak continuously about it.
We also gave 3 supporting tips. Focus on language chunks, pre-made phrases,
Implement the 3-second rule, keep moving after a pause,
and schedule this practice every single day, even if it's just for that 1 minute.
Remember, making mistakes is not the end of the world, language focus. The only real mistake is being silent.
Your goal is always to get your point across, language focus.
If you hit a wall, language focus, describe the thing and move on. Don't stop.
We truly hope this gives you a simple, powerful tool to incorporate into your daily routine.
This method helps English learners practice listening and speaking naturally.
We love hearing about your experiences with these challenges. Tell us what photo you used today.
Next time on the English Blend, we are going to look at 3 common conversational patterns used when arguing politely.
It's going to be very helpful for those work meetings.
We will teach you how to disagree without sounding aggressive.
That was a great talk
Yes, see you in the next episode.
of the English Blend.